G'day, mate, and welcome back to Factorio with me, JD. It's all here. It's all done. We've got all our pieces to make our power armor. Finally going to have that power armor Mark II. Alright. With that, it means I can throw out all the crap that I don't need anymore. In theory, the robots will deliver us everything we need for this uranium outpost as well. Come on, craft faster. It's 25-second craft. It's not something you'd automate unless you're on a multiplayer map. For anybody who's considering it. So we're going to swap over our armor. Now the bigger armor does two things. One, as you can see, it gives me slightly more inventory. The other important thing is way more storage for stuff. So we're going to put in a portable fusion reactor, which has an output of 750 kilowatts compared to our old ones, which had a output of 30 kilowatts. Nothing. We can now put in all our fancy stuff. I'm going to put in one of those. I will put in one solar panel because it takes up the other square left over from the belt immunity. I'm also going to put in all our batteries. As you can see, things are charging up reasonably fast. It could be faster, but it's getting there. Actually, if I do... Oops. That. Okay. Shields. So, I want a bunch more stuff in my power armor. I'm happy with the speed it's charging at, sort of. But you know what? It'd be really nice if it charged even faster. So, I'm going to grab a bunch of these. And then a bunch of these. And we're going to make a second reactor. The other thing I can make is a couple laser defense. And I would love some more legs so I could travel even faster. Because with enough legs you can outpace a train. It is perfectly possible and reasonable. Okay, so what do we got? We've got more power. We've got personal laser defense, which I don't need currently because we're definitely not in combat. We're going to make 2 more legs. And I've still got quite a few slots left over. So you know what? We might have another lot of personal roboports. And if I go find more steel... Another 3 lots of personal roboports, I think. That's another speed boost. And another speed boost. As you can see, we're really ripping along now. Okay. Oh, acid. Acid was the other thing we needed to do. That's alright. Does not take that long to run across the map when you've got 4 lots of exoskeletons. Or run across your base. Okay, so we need to go to oil first. Work out where our acid is. And then take our acid from there up to where this train is. Yeah, this is all now running beautifully. Okay, so acid is here. Our train is here. We're not going to call you Iron Unload 2. We're going to call you Uranium Unload. Okay. So, the easiest way is I could go right the way across and right the way up, but it's probably easier to go up than across. And I know you're saying that we probably could just take it straight up to the mine, but realistically I want to take it to the train because then as I keep adding more uranium outposts, I've already got the acid plumbed to the right spot for even more trains. Let's just take it off the battery output. Put those back in there. Cap the hell out of that chest. Yeah, getting up and across the bus could be a little bit tricky. There's going to be some shenanigans involved. take this to maximum draw. And then, am I in the robot network? I am. Good. Goodbye, trees. I don't really want my personal robots to do it. Sure. That's good enough. I'll go back to running now. And we'll just let the bots fix everything behind me. Nope. I'm out. Might want to request 100 of those. Not that we're in the network to actually request them, but we'll stop in the network before we're done. Okay, so let's bring it up to here. And I don't mind undergrounding that one. Then we'll go up to get around our steel build, rather than trying to go through our steel build. And actually, we're still very, very short, so we're going to even go up higher. We go through here. Let's just go through here. We want a couple of straight ones. Bring back up that blueprint. Up to there. Up to there. Getting very close now. Make sure I bring it all the way down to there. There to there. Almost. Almost. Are we standing inside logi range? We are. Good. Oh, there to there to there. Okay, so at this end, I want a storage tank. Because I want to be able to store up our acid, at least, before I put it into our train. Now, to hook up to a fluid wagon, pipe does nothing. What you actually need is you need a pump. And as you can see, this now has acid in it. It will slowly fill up. I want to put a pump in there. And as you can see, it gives me these yellow squares. And that indicates which physical tank it will connect to. If I add power, we can see, if I turn off alt view, it's actually hooked up to that center tank. And it'll fill up all three tanks. Now, in the past, a long time ago in a Factorio land far, far away, you could actually set 3 different fluids into 3 different tanks and hook up 3 different pumps. Realistically, for our purposes, 1 tank is all we get. Well, 1 choice of fluid is all we get. Now, the other thing I want to do is, this holds 25,000, this holds 25,000. So I want to put a pump here to force the liquid into this tank. And fill up this tank. Because if you remember, our original sulfuric acid tank is set to 5K. And because the fluids level out, it means that this tank would only ever have 5,000 into it until this train pulled up, at which point 5,000 get pumped into there very, very quickly. And then we have to wait for the fluid to then travel slowly in here to get pumped in. So, yeah, it's better if we put a pump here to give us positive pressure. So this will fill up, and that'll fill up, and away we go. Now, let's jump in our train. I still have more bots out and about. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to open this. I'm going to take off my personal robot, which means any robots that were attached to me are now no longer attached to me. I'm going to put these on. Now you can see I can support... Go back to 1. I can support 10 active robots, 2 charging with a construction range of 30 by 30. If I put all these on, I can now support 40 robots, 8 charging at once, and my construction range is now 60 by 60. So if I find, of course I can't find anywhere near me. So you can see I now have a quite substantial construction. Quite substantial construction range. And if I go back to 1 robot, it's now considerably less. So, I'm going to put those back on. It also means that I can, as it support charging a lot more robots at once. The other thing that you need to consider is it's going to use a lot more power out of your batteries and fusion armor. Okay, so I'm going to jump this train and we're going to use the ability to click and we're going to go straight to there. And that's as far forward as the train will go. So it'll stop there. And then hopefully our robots will get out and do things. After we physically get out of the train. Another change with Factorio 17 is as long as you're in a train or a vehicle of any type, the robots won't actually jump out and do things automatically. You have to get out first. We're going to pick up 10,000 ammo out of these things, but that's fine. We can get our train and hey, control click to get it off the main track, as long as we're not standing near the track, because that would be bad. I'm going to pick up these, or pick up the ammo at least out of these things, because that takes the longest for the robots to pick up. And I can still use the picking up of the robots trick to save them chewing up my battery power or my armor power recharging. Yeah, so it had 100 ammo in it. That'll take the robots a long time to empty. But we want to get this train track done as fast as possible. There's 2 wild robots left behind. We've cleared the main track, good. Come on, you lot, in the inventory. Let's go build stuff. If I open this up, I can see sort of where they can reach to. And I just want to keep moving forward ever so slowly. You can go away. Train. Move forward again. Nothing stopping me building by hand, apart from trees. Trees will stop you building by hand. Because even this feels a little bit slow and tedious. If I had more robot speed upgrades, it'd be a lot better. Actually, we're about to finish that, so let's do a worker robot speed 3, worker robot speed 4, worker robot speed 5. That'll make a hell of a difference. Okay, so we rename you to Uranium. Good. We want you to go to Uranium, air condition, full cargo, Uranium unload, air condition, empty cargo. Add a second condition, fluid count. We want the fluid of choice to be acid. We want it to be greater than 24,000. The tank holds 25,000, but 24,000 is going to be good enough for our purposes. We want to bring power up. Okay, so I need to put another pump in. Where is it? I don't have one. I used it. Okay. And I need that yellow box. So as you can see, I can't unload anywhere there. I can there, even though it's on a curve. It's just on a curve, so it's fine. I need that to have somewhere to unload into. So I'm going to build another storage tank for this end. Now, storage tank at this end is a little bit optional. Maybe it hasn't actually hooked up. No, it doesn't look like it's hooked up. Okay. Train. You go there. do is we'll just snake this out and back in. And then we'll have you come back to uranium. Cool. Okay, so now I need my miners. We're going to take out... Oh, do I have any landfill? No, of course I don't. I didn't bring landfill with me. Alright, so we were going to take our miners. We want a row. Another row. As you can see, these miners are very different. They change as soon as they touch the uranium ore, because they now need a fluid input, and that's what all the little blue arrows are. They are where the fluid gets plugged into. So we want to build this out as quickly as possible. I'll do us for the moment. Put in our belts, of course. So this is all very much the same. Nothing's changed. Put in our power. And as you can see, even though that they already have an active live power connection, they're not actually turning on like a normal miner would. They also need that liquid input sorted. So we need a pump there, which as you can see is now definitely hooked up into a tank. It's going to empty that into there. As you can see, it empties in a hurry. And then we need to have the fluid input to all our different miners. Just hook this belt up, that belt up. That belt. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring fluid into the very first row. So these guys all take in sulfuric acid and they'll now output uranium. Because they're all put beside one another, they'll actually carry the acid from one to the next to the next. Now what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to underground just for neatness, and so I can walk through the end, hook the first row to the second row, then I'm going to put a straight pipe in, hook this miner into this miner. Then same story, I'm going to copy that, I'm going to paste it there, and then again a single pipe. Oh, you two don't line up. Okay, because you don't line up, we put in one in a zigzag, like so. It does mean I can't run down this row anymore because that pipe connection's in the way. But I can come to this end, put in one, hook up the top most row, and I need landfill to square off the land to get a miner in here and a couple of miners in there. But we now have uranium. Not vast sums, it's going to take a while to fill up. We can see that we've lost a lot of sulfuric acid, like half the tank already. Filling the lines and the miners themselves. Again, another good practice is to put a pump after this tank to make sure that those lines end up full. And as you can see, we're down to like 8, 7. So, normally, I always advise when you're doing uranium, after you first plumb it in, go refill the train with acid. Very, very good thing to do because it will use a lot of acid on that first trip, and you don't want to end up in a situation where you have not enough acid for the train to fill up with uranium, so the train never fills up with uranium and therefore it never leaves that station. So yeah, we've got, the train has unloaded, it's got at least 24,000 acid in it again, so now it's going to run to the other end. Full cargo inventory should work. If you're ever concerned, you can always set it to item count, and we want cargo uranium ore. We can say equals, And it's 2,000 per wagon. We've got 8 wagons, so we can always say 8,000. But as you can see, that full icon is definitely moving, so we should be alright. And our asset's already down to 5k in the tank. So, you know, either of these should work. We needed to jump out so that radar can go down. And then I actually want to go home, so I'm just going to take the train quickly home. It can't have too much sulfuric acid up here anyway, so it's not something we have to worry about. But what we do have to worry about is what to do with the uranium at the other end. And we need to run them through centrifuges. So a centrifuge processes uranium ore and splits it into uranium-235 and uranium-238. Which is going to be the next thing we need to actually start using the uranium. No, I thought science was stopped. No, science is not stopped. It's just at the point where we need lots of packs, so it's taken a while. Alright, so we need some steel. We need some steel. We need some advanced circuits, which are all the way down there. We need some concrete. We need some gears, which I'd really prefer not to handcraft, as we've got a belt to the damn things. I'll just run along the pair of belts, and we're going to make some centrifuges. Now, this is one of those things I would probably... I'm 50-50 whether I'd automate them. It is something that potentially, if you go into nuclear or atomic bombs, which is this research here, you could end up using a lot of centrifuges along with nuclear power. So for pure ease, I'm going to actually automate them because I potentially want a few centrifuges. It also lets me show off that we have all the products here. We have steel, we have gears, we have red circuits. The one thing we don't have is I don't have concrete. But what I can do is I can put down a request chest, set this for concrete, and put down inserter, and the robots will fly to here, pick up 100 concrete, and then fly down here and drop off 100 concrete, which will then start the process running. Same with this, and the output in there. One stack should be heaps. I have no idea how high they stack to, so maybe we actually run a logistic condition and set this to 5, because I actually have a feeling they're stacking 50s, and that's a lot of material. But with a few centrifuges, we can start the process of trying to refine our uranium, because there's nothing better than refined uranium. Just ask the Koreans, the North Koreans, South Korea. I can't remember. One of the Koreas. I now sort of regret saying that joke. Now I can't remember. Okay, 1, 2, 3. So because we've got a balancer here, I can take any one of these belts. And actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to run the belt along like that. I'm going to pick these guys up, and I'm going to run them down like that instead. There. Recipe, uranium processing. And actually, let's get rid of those ghosts. Let's do this properly with a power pole, and then an output belt. Get rid of all these. And then we can duplicate this build like so. Because it actually takes a fair while to process these. It's 12 seconds to process each one, and it takes in 10 uranium ore, and then gives a 99% chance for the 238, I think it is. We'll find out in a second. Yeah, so there's a 99% chance that you're going to get the 238, and there is a 0.7 chance you're going to get the 235, which is the more pure, refined material. So this is one of those reasons I did automate the centrifuges, because we're going to want a few of them. And it's going to take a while to get them all built. So, with this, currently I can't do anything with it, because I haven't actually unlocked any more research. But what we're going to do is we're going to get a couple of steel chests and a filter inserter. And I'm going to put a filter inserter here, and I'm going to filter out that you are going to get 235. So the shiny one. You'll probably also hear me eventually refer to them as shiny rocks and dull rocks, because another Australian Factorio streamer said it, and it's stuck. Because it's the perfect analogy. And then I just want mass storage. For the moment, we're just going to mass store the rest of them. Just normal inserters. Row there, power pole. Do I have a substation on me? Because that'd be brilliant. Oh, I don't. Okay. Well, you know what? Let's put that there then. And then let's duplicate the whole thing. Come on, copy, there, paste, done, duplicated. I'm guessing I'm short 3 steel chests. 1, 2, 3. Are they steel chests? They are. Okay. So, mass storage. Mass storage. And for the moment, that'll do us. There's not a lot else we can do. We are going to slowly mine uranium. Like there's 7.7. It's almost got the 8K it's looking for in there currently. As you can see, full cargo inventory is definitely sliding up, so we don't need that order. So when it fills up, it'll come down here. It'll dump all its uranium into these chests, which will then run through the system. And hopefully, we will eventually find a couple of shiny rocks to start the process of nuclear power. Because we don't have a power problem because we built solar, but there's no guarantee in your game that you didn't have, that you had the chance to build solar. Maybe you were pushed in, maybe you had too many cliffs, whatever it happens to be, and you really want to play with nuclear power. So we're going to build some nuclear power. Anyway, I'm going to end this episode here. Thank you guys so much for watching, as always. I need to get some landfill because I want to go fix this up before we forget. Which we might do on camera next episode. I honestly don't know. Yeah, I really don't know. Anyway, like I said, definitely going to end this here. We're going to stack up a whole bunch of the dull rocks. Said you'd hear it sooner or later. Whole bunch of the dull rocks, and also try and hunt for a shiny rock. Are you not quite full? You are full. Oh, item count. That one equals 8,000. Okay, well there you go. Full cargo inventory includes the acid container, which will never be full. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Alright, bye!